What's up, everybody? Big Lovin, Don DellaSnooch, episode 18 of the Escape Pod. Spiderman!
Maguire-derman.
I'm sorry.
How's it going, guys?
Let's get into it!
Oh, Macho Man Randy Savage is with us
No,
today.
I'm Bonesaw. Bonesaw. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Welcome to the show. Welcome to all things Star Wars, the Escape Pod. Thanks for joining us. We got a special episode. Not really. I'm talking shit. We're covering Spider-Man from 2002.
It's special to Brady.
I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's been my superhero since I was a wee lad.
Ooh,
a young man.
He was a wee lad once.
One time.
Now he's 9.5 foot tall.
Yeah, that was like 45 minutes I was a wee lad.
His beard weighs more than I do.
That's factual. We have done this way.
we have done this. This is the way.
And this is the way. This is the way.
This is the way. Jen says the lighting looks good, so I must have worked something out.
Thank you.
Guys, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and all your favorite podcasting apps like iTunes, Tunein, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play. Check out all of our sister pods on Podbelly. You can also find us anywhere you see ATSW.
That's right.
If you want to help us grow the show, please consider becoming an Escape Pod crew member on Patreon.com. There's 3 budget-friendly tiers that you can help us with hosting costs, future equipment upgrades, resources so that we can bring con experiences to you, and kind of anything else that we want to throw your way.
With the Patreon money that we've received thus far, though, we've
Upgraded
our camera. It's gone into a lot of things. We put our cash in here, too, but the Patreon money is a big help. It really does help us. And
we just bought us a real nice studio camera.
Yeah, so thank you to all our patrons. We greatly appreciate that. And we'll get to you guys here shortly.
There's all kinds of bonuses for being a Patreon member as far as the kind of cool stuff that you get to see behind the scenes, and at the end of every 3 months, we're
gonna do a drawing. We're gonna do a gift basket drawing. We're so far in this one this year. We've got a T-shirt, we've got a tumbler cup, and we've got some extra surprises. Some coffee mugs. We're doing it, and it's gonna be centric to what we've done over the last few months. We're putting together a little thing. So each 3 months, a little gift basket, kind of a loot crate, if you will, of what's been going on with the Escape Pod. Yep. So that's pretty cool.
But that's trademark, so we can't say loot crate.
I'm not.
It's a stuff crate.
Yeah, it's a stuff crate. It's a shit crate.
So here is my proposal to you. I'm gonna do it live.
Okay.
Because that's what we do.
We do it live. Fair enough.
What if we, after every episode, we give 1 entry for the gift basket to any fan that screenshots them sharing us on their social media.
Yes.
Sharing our videos on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat.
I don't do Snapchat.
I don't either.
We don't have a Snapchat.
Do people do that on Snapchat?
We can find if our community has and does Snapchat, then maybe it's something we should jump on.
Yeah. Well, anything where you can help us promote the show. If you can screenshot it, we'll give you 1 entry per screenshot.
Tag us in the screenshot. You should be able to tag the ATSW, the Escape Pod. I don't want to say the All Things Star Wars podcast, right. But that's not true.
Right. That way that opens it up a little bit to everybody.
Yeah.
And then it helps us spread the word.
But it's only 1 per episode.
Yeah. 1 per episode.
Yeah. So, but we're gonna be doing that drawing at the end of the month, and so that's really cool. So, what's up, old man Johnson? I know who you are.
He's old as dirt too.
It happens. Mm-hmm. It happens.
He's got them old creaky knees. It's funny when he tries to sneak up on you. You can hear him from like a block away. Anyway, on Patreon, search ATSW The Escape Pod.
And the search creator bar. Next, we're going to get to our shout-outs. First and foremost, always got to give a shout-out to the All Things Star Wars podcast. That is the mothership. That is where we started from, because that's the guys right there. That's the group. That's the dudes.
Yeah, Dave
fellas,
and Jason.
Dave and Jason.
You know what they're working on?
It's going to be beautiful. So if you're not engaged with the All Things Star Wars podcast, engage with them and get on this. Summer of Legends.
Yeah, they're way better at this than we are.
Yeah, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. We use fuck a lot so it can fill the show.
Yeah, it just fills all the spaces. Fuck is a masterful word.
I use it a lot.
Because I say a lot of ums, and the other word I say is fuck. So if I say or fuck, I'm just thinking about the next thing I want to say.
Yeah, so that's all it is. It's nothing, it's just how we speak.
Don't take it the wrong way.
We're from the shop. Some of us are from the military. That's just the world we live in.
Yeah.
That's how we speak. So, but next, let's get to Used and Abused, the music podcast. Pat-a-pan. Kim and Scott. Used and Abused, a music podcast. Check them out.
Also Patreon supporters.
They are Patreon supporters. Love Kim and Scott. Mm-hmm. Check out Layman's Terms. Our man Keith, he is strictly on YouTube. He does, I always say strictly, but he occasionally drops some shit in the
on Facebook.
On Facebook in the Sidebar Cantina. If you're not part of that, once again, you're missing out with the All Things Star Wars podcast crew. So, and then we have Big Swede's Excellent Adventure, Tactical Swede, something Swede 39?
Swede
Sylvania. I think it's Swede 39 now.
I don't know.
There's a lot of fucking Swede.
Did he move from 38?
Yeah, 38 was last week. Now he's on to 39.
All right.
It's out of control, man. This guy needs to get his shit together. And then don't forget to check out our homies, the Brew Guys. All things beer snobbish. They love the beer, and they want you to love the beer. Right, so join our friends on YouTube, the Brew Guys.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if I like that.
Give a shout out to our patrons. Scott and Kim Rasmussen, or Ragamuffin, as the great Keith Lehman would say. Jen and Jess Bull, Big Swede, Tactical Swede. He's all one and the same, all 39 of him.
All 39 of him.
So, and then Luna Girl and Dragon Buddy. We greatly appreciate your guys' support. Thank you very much.
And this month is also Kim and Scott Rasmussen's 3rd month of being a top tier Patreon supporter. And we're going to send them a free t-shirt at the end of the month.
Hell yeah. They've been top tier the whole time, and we greatly appreciate it. We really appreciate our Patreon. You guys have no idea, and you may think it's not a whole lot, but to us it means the world, so thank you very much.
Yep. If you come in on the top tier of Patreon after your 3rd month, you get a fresh new t-shirt.
Yep.
And then maybe we could do one at the end of the year, if they do 12 months.
If they do 12 months, I don't see why we shouldn't.
Yeah, I think that we'll do that.
We have it at our fingertips. It's at our disposal.
Yep. 12 months, we'll do another one.
Hell yeah.
I mean, if a person wanted 2 shirts.
Yeah. And if you want a shirt, maybe we just work something else out. We haven't got on that completely yet, but we're working on some things.
We're definitely going to put a store together at some point. We got the mugs for sale. Keith Lehman hit me up for a mug today.
Hell yeah. I already did that.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
All right. Let's get into it, buddy.
So here we go for movie news. Season 2 of The Boys on Amazon Prime will premiere September 4th.
I cannot wait.
Oh, dude.
The Boys is, if you haven't watched season 1, start watching it now. That way you're ready for season 2. The Boys is awesome. I love that show.
I think 2 weeks before The Boys goes live, we will review season 1 on the show. Which should give you guys a couple of weeks to catch up on the show going into season 2, because it's something you're going to want to watch.
Yeah, and we'll give you a heads up when that's coming down the pipe.
Absolutely. James Gunn says his Suicide Squad 2 cut of the film will be seen in theaters, and it will be the definitive cut.
That seems to be the big thing. Snyder cuts, Revenge of the Sith cuts, all kinds of
Yeah, they're like, fuck you, this is my cut.
Yeah.
Laying it on the table.
They're letting us know now, so don't expect anything more. What you see is what you get.
Video game news. Microsoft is going to have their big showcase the week of July 20th, just like PlayStation did a couple weeks ago.
Right.
So get ready for that.
Be checking that out.
And then we'll have Brady and possibly me or Jordan will sit with them.
Or all 3 of us. Fuck, all 4 of us.
We could all sit in here, and me and Michael could tell you why Xbox isn't good.
Me and my son will just fucking ignore him. Maybe stabby. I'll stab. That's Johnson. You want to see him get stabbed? That's when he's going to get stabbed. So enjoy the Xbox episode.
Keep an eye out for that sometime after the 20th of July.
Which is after my birthday. My birthday is the 17th of this month.
Hey, I didn't know that. Well, I know now.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
If I forget, it's because you didn't remind me.
Fair enough.
Amazon is pulling their new game Crucible from Steam. Apparently, it has a very dismal adoption rate.
What does that mean?
They're saying that there's no more than 200 consecutive players at a time playing this game, which is like...
That's crazy. Could you think of all the people in the world who play video games?
That's not even my whole high school graduation class, and I come from a small school.
I don't even think that's first shift.
Yeah, it's not. It's not first shift.
That's not even first shift.
In the entire world, they couldn't get one shift to eat.
Yeah. That's fucking ridiculous.
So
I don't want to play this game.
Well, I think what they've realized is that they didn't make enough game, and from what I read, they're pulling it back to beta.
Oh, try to expand.
So everybody who's got it now gets to now play it in the closed beta, and I think they're gonna fucking rebuild the game because they fucked up.
Fuck yeah, they did. I have no want to even look into a game like that. Shitty.
Yeah. Some more video game stuff. There's a jungle pack coming out for Minecraft if you're into that. A game called Biped on the Switch, which I don't know anything about a lot of these games. Marvel's Iron Man is coming out in VR on July 3rd.
That looked pretty cool though.
I
did
wish
see something about that. Yeah.
VR because I'd snatch up on that. The Wonderful 101 Remastered, we talked about that earlier, but it's finally coming out. Must be they pushed it back. I have no idea what Castle Kong is. See, guys, I'm supposed to go through and figure out what all this shit is.
Supposed to.
But some dickhead, this guy, bought a boat, and I had to go get it today, and it fucked up all my getting ready time. Catherine Full Body is coming out. I don't know if you've ever played Catherine before.
No.
Probably not.
Nope.
It's a story-based game, but it's cool.
I went through this list before the show, and I think the only game I know is Dying Light.
Mm-hmm.
They got a DLC coming out for that on July 23rd. And then there was the one that Norman Reedus, Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
Yeah, those are like the only games of this big ass list.
What's on that? Is that just an expansion? DLC?
I went by it, buddy.
Cool. Bloodstained is supposed to be a zombie game, as far as I know. No, it's oh gosh, werewolves, right?
Well, Curse of the Moon. That's where I would be leaning.
It's definitely something I haven't played. F1 2020, if you're into IndyCar racing games, that's coming out. PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox, and if you have one, Stadia. It's one of the first games I've seen coming out for Stadia.
I don't even know what Stadia is.
I can't remember what company is doing it, but it's a new console, and all the games are internet based. So you get like a desktop, not a desktop, but you get
you get your console
computer-like device.
Oh, okay.
Then everything runs through that. It's all
games,
streaming.
You don't buy any hard physical copies.
Yeah. But it's a fucking PC.
Yeah.
They're mostly competing with Xbox, and
I saw that other one too.
Windows 10, kind of a competing thing.
Skater XL.
Oh,
I got ahead of you. I mean, because I know we're not going over all these games, so we can just pick and choose here.
Oh, Death Stranding's coming out for PC.
PC, that's what it was.
That's the thing.
But Skater XL, that's a new skateboard game. I don't know if it's supposed to be like the new Skate from Skate 1, 2, and 3.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember if it's supposed to, but I love skateboarding, so I'm going to definitely check that one out. And that one comes out July 28th.
Yep. If you're into RPGs, specifically the Sword Art series, Sword Art, I can't say those two words together. Sword Art Online is coming out for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox July 10th.
Jess says Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I don't know nothing about that, buddy. If that's a game that's coming out, I threw it out there because you said something in the chat about it. So
I've never played it.
No. So if anybody else is looking for that game, supposedly that one's coming out according to our man in the chat, Jess.
A lot of this stuff, I mean, Hunting Simulator.
Right.
I'm never going to play a game called Radical Rabbit Stew. Nor am I even going to watch a video.
Literally, this is the list. I don't know if you can see my phone very well, but this scrolling. This is the list of
for
video
July.
games.
It's a atypical July.
Yeah, but
Paper Mario, the Origami King, coming out on the Switch. Have you ever played Paper Mario?
no.
Paper Mario was awesome.
I think the only game I've played on Switch too on the Switch is Mario
It wasn't
Kart.
Switch.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, just bringing that out. That I've only played.
It was the GameCube Paper Mario came out of. Bloodstained is like old school Castlevania. All right, yeah, that rings a bell now. Dying Light is getting a big DLC if you're into Dying Light.
And that's on July 23rd.
Yep, like Brady said, Skater XL. Neo 2 is coming out, big DLC. If anybody's into that, it's like almost like modern Ninja Gaiden conceptually. A lot of this shit I still don't know what the fuck it is, and I'm not gonna waste anybody's time with it.
You want to get into the hot sheets?
Hot sheets.
Let's get into the hot sheets, bud. I'll let you hit that first one because I don't know.
Internet Rag, we've got this covered. Says Solo 2 is in the works.
I want it, so hopefully that there's truth to that. Don't know, but here at the Escape Pod, we'll talk about some of that kind of stuff. So hopefully that's the thing, because I know we're big fans of Solo. So
yep.
Hopefully,
yeah, I thought Solo was fantastic.
Even if it's just strictly to Disney Plus.
Yep.
If they would do Solo 2 strictly to Disney Plus, I'd be all in for that, man.
Isaac says Nintendo 64 was Paper Mario.
Yeah, don't fuck it up. How dare you?
Well, my memory is not perfect.
Well, Isaac doesn't stand for that kind of shit. That's why he's here. Okay?
Ron, nobody wants to hear that 2K21 nonsense.
Oh. Hey, you need to calm your shit. Damian Lillard's a 2K21 cover athlete, so that's good stuff, because I love me some NBA 2K.
All right.
Don't talk shit.
I don't know why you're yelling at me.
Because you gave Isaac some lip, and that's unnecessary.
Not Isaac.
You gave him a little lip, and then you took that and transferred it to Ron. Ron deserves it. Isaac doesn't.
Right. You're right. We should have just stabbed Ron.
We'll stab him tomorrow.
Right.
Oh, you can go to his house and stab him since you fucks don't have to work.
I don't have to work tomorrow. Did I mention that I don't have to work tomorrow?
Beavis and Butthead are returning to TV this time at Comedy Central. Mike Judge to helm the show. Shut up.
You just blew right through my favorite bit of news today. Just came out today. There's going to be Beavis and Butthead again.
I know that's exciting, but fuck you. How dare you talk shit to me about my fucking basketball, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, there's that. Spider-Man 3 is slated for filming to begin in September, but Sony is unsure due to the COVID crisis.
Okay, Pirates of the Caribbean getting a reboot. There are currently 2 scripts in the works, may or may not include Jack Sparrow, and Margot Robbie is attached to the project. I heard this wasn't a reboot. I heard
This is episode 6, but it reboots the franchise.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's what I've heard it is. It's not like
it's in the same continuity.
Yes,
but it reboots the franchise.
That's fine.
And I don't know how the fuck they're gonna do it.
Let them do
why or whatever. But I'll probably watch it because I watched all of them.
There you go. In sports, there's not really much. They're still ironing out all the details with all the leagues. I know today they announced that the NFL is going to 2 preseason games instead of the 4.
Yeah.
And that's about really, but like I said, it's all ironing out details, and there's not a whole lot. Cam Newton signed with the Patriots. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing in the sports world that's happened in the last week or two, I would assume.
Yeah, I
mean,
agree.
It's all old. It's just over and over. This is what they're doing. This is what they're doing. We don't know if this is what they're doing. This is the plan. We're not sure. So
right.
Not really a whole lot to tell. When sports jumps up, sports will be a part of the regular show, but
yeah, we'll probably have a good 10-minute conversation at least about what's happening in the show.
Yeah.
Did we not really have any real movie?
We didn't really have any movie news, sir.
I feel like
you already went through it, man.
Oh, yep, sure did. All right, cool.
So
I don't know why you're yelling at me again.
Because maybe you fucking deserve it.
Maybe.
Think about that?
I'm probably sure I deserve it. All right, we ready to get into the 2002 Tobey Maguire version of Spider-Man?
The first version. Well, I mean, there was
Not
old
the
shit
first
back
version.
in the day, but the first version that matters. I said it. Yeah, it's the first version that matters.
All right.
Okay.
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 I don't know why you have all these feelings.
Cause I'm emotional.
Uh,
Sandcrawler Studios, I can let them all out.
Everybody, Brady's emotional.
Just a little bit. Why you gotta bring it up?
All right. Grab your testicular fortitude and let's get on with the show.
I don't have any of that.
All right. On a school trip, high school senior Peter Parker visits Columbia University's genetic laboratory with his friend Harry Osborn and his crush, Mary Jane Watson. Watson, right? Yep.
Yeah.
There, Peter's bitten by a genetically engineered super spider and seemingly falls ill after returning home. Meanwhile, Harry's scientist father, Norman Osborn, tries to secure an important military contract. He experiments on himself with an unstable performance-enhancing chemical that goes insane. Killing is insistent.
I'm gonna get a beer.
He's gonna get a beer.
You guys want one? You?
Yep.
You? Okay.
Get 3 for the back.
No, for the back.
The next morning, Peter finds he is no longer nearsighted and his body has metamorphosized into a more muscular physique.
I thought that was a cool little thing they did there with the filming. I'm very intrigued at how long that they stopped filming and let him bulk up and buff up and return to film. Return to. I wonder how long of a break that was in between filming.
Well, that's a good question.
But I enjoyed that whole.
I was gonna say maybe they just thinned him out digitally, but they weren't really quite there yet.
I don't think they thinned him out.
That's what I mean. But
nowadays I can see them doing like they did with Iron Man in the last Avengers movie, when he came back from space and he was all emaciated and gross. That shit was amazing. Yep. We're gonna do one of those shows one day.
I imagine that Christian Bale is real pissed off after doing that
with the potatoes.
The mechanic.
Yeah, he did that. Got all sick and ill.
He's like, oh, they could have just fucking did it digitally if we just waited 5 years. At school, he finds that his body can produce webs and has quickened reflexes that let him avoid injury during a confrontation with bully Flash Thompson.
I did not like how the webs came out of his hands, or came out of his arms or wrist or whatever. Because in the comic books, he always made his web shooters, and he made a web shooter formula and stuff like that. It never came out of his hands.
Well, not necessarily. There were different versions of the comic books. Sometimes it came out of his wrist. Sometimes he had actual web shooters. It depended on who was writing the story.
Fuck that.
Well, I mean, I'm just being.
I didn't like that though. Because in my opinion, that showed you how smart Peter Parker was. And in this movie, you really don't see how smart he is. In the new ones, Tom Holland goes to the school for the gifted, and in the Spider-Verse movie, old boy went to the school for the gifted and shit like that. So,
according to Isaac, who is our resident guy who always knows everything, Maguire spent 6 months taking martial arts, weight training, and an intensive gymnastics program in order to bulk up, look buff, and be able to match the
athleticism of Spider-Man. I don't know what that word is.
Lift.
Using big words like that. Isaac, come on, man.
I know, right?
Jesus.
So, I've also seen Spider-Man written where it comes out of the palm of his hand, just in front of his wrist.
Yeah, where in this show it came out of the wrist. And then like Venom, his shit came out through the top. See, I thought Venom was the only one whose shit came out organically.
No, I
didn't like that. That was one part of the Spider-Man. Like, I really enjoyed this movie, But that was one of the, like, I remember even back then, I didn't like it when it came out.
So what is Tom Holland's version?
Tom Holland has mechanical web shooters.
Does he?
Yeah, he makes them for his original costume, and then Tony Stark just adds that shit to the new one.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Peter discovers he has developed superhuman speed and strength, the ability to stick to surfaces, and heightened ability to sense danger.
I love how he dipped out of school just to go figure all this shit out.
Right.
He's like, I'm smart.
Hey kids, skip school. See if you can fucking climb walls.
Right. Probably wouldn't allow that to happen in 2020.
I tried lots of times when I skipped school. Never once could climb a wall.
I tried a lot. I'd rather not discuss what was going on when I was trying that.
I was getting high, but it wasn't on walls.
Yeah, me too. It wasn't on walls.
And for our next segment, kids, don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs, even if they make you think you're Spider-Man.
Brushing off Uncle Ben's advice that with great power comes great responsibility, Peter considers impressing Mary Jane with a new car. He enters an underground fighting tournament to raise the money, and he wins his first match.
And who's he fighting? Bonesaw McGraw.
Bonesaw McGraw.
Hell yeah.
A.K.A. Macho Man Randy Savage.
And you know who else was in that scene?
Yes, the guy who plays Ash on Evil Dead, and I can't...
Campbell.
Yes,
Bruce
Campbell.
Hell yeah.
He plays the ring announcer.
He's been, fun little fact is Bruce Campbell has been in all three of, because Raimi made the Evil Dead movies.
Because him and Raimi are buddies.
Yeah, and so he threw him and gave him little guest spots in all three of the Spider-Man movies.
If I recall, they went to college together, him and Raimi.
Cool. Rock on.
But don't quote me on that.
Oh, what's up, Dub?
What up, Dub?
Building.
What up, big guy?
How you doing, bud? Thanks for joining us tonight, man.
Anyway, he enters an underground fighting tournament to raise the money, which he wins his first match. But the promoter cheats him out of his earnings because the deal was he went for 3 rounds and he kicked his ass in 2.
The deal was 3 minutes. Stay in the ring for 3 minutes, and he beat his ass in 2.
Beat him ass, yes.
And only got $100. I don't see where the math adds up.
No, it doesn't seem fair.
Keep going.
Right.
He cheats him out of the inning. I'm gonna think. Did you get to that part? Go ahead.
Cheats him out of earnings?
Yep.
When a thief suddenly robs the promoter in the office, Peter allows him to escape.
I love that part until later.
Yes.
I was like, when I remember watching that, because this movie came out, just to take it back, this movie came out May 3rd, 2002. I remember that because, one, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero of all time, and my son is born in July, so my son's birthday is this month as well. So, like, in my head, like, everything's coming together. Like, I'm getting this cool movie. My son's about to be born. Like, we're going to grow up watching Spider-Man together. So, like, I remember a lot of that stuff. And I remember when that happened, and he's like, you could have killed that guy, or you could have demolished that guy, or whatever he says. And he's like, I failed to see that where that's my problem.
Right.
He gave him the same shit. I love that whole scene.
But
then what happens later makes me like,
the movie immediately takes an opportunity to teach us something.
Yep.
Moments later, which a good movie should. Moments later, he discovers Uncle Ben, was carjacked and killed. Peter pursues and confronts the carjacker, only to realize it was the thief that he just let escape. That's good writing. I
thought that was awesome.
There's a lot of things in this movie that are, at best, medium writing.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
There's some real loose shit in this movie, but that was excellently done.
It's loose shit, I think, because it was one of the first ones.
So
when these came out.
I wasn't gonna bring this up until we got to the very end, but inside sidebar, this movie suffers from a lot of the same kind of campy choices that, like, the original 68 or 69 Batman, 68?
Something like that.
66.
You would know better than I.
66 Batman. Where you had some older people that were looking at comic books as somewhat for children.
Yeah.
And so some choices were made based on the interpretation of somebody reading dialogue off a page and not taking it seriously.
Right, right. Because this is for kids.
This is 5-year-olds playing with their toys, right. Not grown-ups thinking through a story. So there's a little bit of that, and I mean I'll point some of it out as it pops up, but this particular part of the story is expert level storytelling.
Oh yeah, I love this. This really hits in the feels.
Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to. After Peter disarms him, the carjacker flees, but dies after falling out of a window because he tripped.
He tripped over the bar.
Meanwhile, a crazed Norman Osborn interrupts a military equipment experiment by Oscorp Corporation's rival Quest Aerospace and kills several people.
Yeah, he blows that shit up.
Upon upgrading,
Whoa!
Not upgrading, I'm upgrading.
Yeah, you are.
Upon graduating, Peter begins using his abilities to fight injustice, donning a costume and the persona of Spider-Man. Now, I'll tell you, here's what the first thing that I think they fucked up. Spider-Man graduating high school.
I didn't like that either. I agree with you. We jumped way too.
Yep.
We jumped way too fast.
Eric says, "Bone saw's ready."
Bone saw's ready.
One of the best parts about Spider-Man is he's out doing Spider-Man-y things, and then he has to try and be a high school kid.
And that's where the new ones get it right.
Right.
That's where the new ones get. All right, because you ended on the donning a costume and the persona of Spider-Man. Me and you have had this conversation a little bit. In my opinion, I think this is the best Spider-Man costume out of all the Spider-Man movies that they've made.
Right. And my issues with this particular Spider-Man costume is that they couldn't CG shit that they do now. Right. So there's problems with the costume,
which they had with in the Batman movies too.
Yeah.
Like for the longest time, Batman couldn't turn his head; he had to move his whole shoulders or his whole body to turn.
Now,
I love the aesthetic and the overall look of this costume. I love the eyes, but I like how the new one, the eyes blink and move, and they're very comic animated.
Right. I like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man costume.
See, I thought the eyes were too small.
Maybe I should look again. Let me look again. You talk, and I'll be smart.
Well, I don't like doing that.
Why?
Because I don't know what to talk about.
Really?
Really.
Talk about Spider-Man.
But Spider-Man's costume.
Talk about your Spider-Man pajamas.
I thought we were going to talk about that.
Everybody's been talking about
Son
it.
of a bitch.
They've been talking about it at work. You're not supposed to wear them to work, Brady.
They're underoos, and they're comfortable.
Speaking of which, the underoo comment in
Civil
War was fucking amazing.
I loved it. I remember having underoos as a kid. Because we had all the Spider-Man underwear, Transformers underwear, G.I. Joe. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What happened? You got hit with a mud bomb.
I think Andrew Garfield's eyes are bigger than shit.
I just didn't like him.
Okay, fair enough. We're moving the fuck on. There's no more talking about Andrew Garfield until we talk about him being Spider-Man later on.
Yeah, when it's his time.
J. Jonah Jameson, publisher of the Daily Bugle newspaper, hires Peter as a freelance photographer.
That was the best, adaptation from comic to the movie. Out of everything that happens in this, between the good guys, the bad guys, Spider-Man, Green Goblin, that's the best.
There is no better J. Jonah Jameson than the one that's in this and then comes back.
And they have him in the new one, which is awesome.
In the new Spider-Man.
Which is awesome. I can't see anybody else playing it. I really can't.
Absolutely. So, anyway, he's now a freelance photographer for the Daily Bugle. Since Peter is the only person providing any clear images of Spider-Man. Norman Osborn.
Wow.
I'm really struggling.
You're on the struggle bus today.
Upon learning Oscorp's board plans to fire him in order to sell the company to Quest Associates, their rival, at the World Unity Fair. Jameson dubs the mysterious killer the Green Goblin. Norman Osborn, of course, the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin offers Spider-Man a place by his side, and Spider-Man, of course, refuses. They fight, and Peter gets his arm wounded. I'm really going to have to consult with the person that puts these together because they bounce back and forth when they're talking about these characters. They bounce. If you're talking about Spider-Man, you're talking about Spider-Man. If you're talking about Peter, you're talking about Peter. You can't say Spider-Man in this sentence and Peter in this sentence.
When it's all part of the same show. I agree with you.
Right. And it really trips me up. And if I had more time, I'd write these my fucking self. But I have a job and a life and
family and all that shit.
At Thanksgiving dinner, Peter's Aunt May invites Mary Jane, Harry, and Norman. That's normal, isn't it, Norman? During the dinner, Norman sees the wound and realizes Peter's identity. Shortly after that, he leaves, and Norman attacks and hospitalizes Aunt May. Not before he absolutely guts Mary Jane from the hallway.
Yeah, like a super asshole.
Like super fucking, like...
Back then, it didn't bother me. Watching it now, I'm like, it was so uncalled for. Like there wasn't even a slip up on her part to make him have this idea, notion
that she was something less
some
than...
trampy, gold digging, whatever. You know, I didn't like that part.
And that's a theme that actually goes up throughout the whole movie. Her dad tells her she's a piece of shit, and then her friend kind of implies that she's a little bit of a piece of shit, and then this shit with Osborn. But she never does anything in the whole movie to suggest that she's anything but a wonderful person.
And she works hard to try to get what she's after. Yeah.
So I guess maybe I'm not big enough of a Maguire-derman! Anyway, I guess maybe I'm not enough Spider-Man comic book fan to know if that's a running theme, like she's consistently been shit on by people and Peter's the only one that understands her. I don't remember it from the cartoon.
I don't remember that from getting that from the comic books either.
See, I watched the cartoon when I was a kid.
Oh,
the one that was on Saturday morning.
This was another gripe I had as a Spider-Man fan, and I don't know if you were enough of a Spider-Man fan to have this gripe when this movie came out. I wanted Gwen Stacy, not Mary Jane. Because Gwen Stacy was the first love interest, and that's your your one guy.
Gwen Stacy is my favorite Spider-Man Peter Parker love interest.
Right.
And then she becomes Spider-Girl, and you could have totally fucking ran off and made Spider-Girl.
She died.
Gwen Stacy?
Yes. You're talking about the new ones that they've done with her. Where she's Spider-Gwen?
Yes.
Yes, you're talking about the new ones. The old one, she died. She died. The way this movie plays out,
yes,
he tries to save Gwen Stacy and he snaps her fucking neck like he does. It's fucking bad.
In what?
He
Ultimate Spider-Man? Or?
The comic books. That's how Gwen Stacy died.
Yeah, but what comic books?
I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, there's
Spider-Man, Spectacular, there's Amazing, there's Ultimate. I don't remember which one. Fuck off and die.
All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and fuck off and die, and then we're going to go ahead and cover some more of this movie.
That's a good idea. It helps.
Yep.
It pushes the show along.
Mary Jane admits she is infatuated with Spider-Man, who has rescued her on numerous occasions.
No! Twice. He rescued her twice.
Twice.
Not numerous. These people...
Numerous, if you have one and then you have two is a numerous of one.
Fucking read your shit.
It's just another...
Nobody likes you right now.
Nobody
likes you.
Does anybody like me right
now?
Nobody. I'm getting upset.
You shouldn't be.
All right. And ask Peter whether...
That should make you sad, not upset. You should be sad nobody likes you, not upset nobody likes you.
It is sad. It is sad. She asked Peter whether Spider-Man's ever asked about her. So Peter, of course, makes up a long story about having conversated with Spider-Man about her.
And basically he's telling her how he truly feels.
Right, which is essentially when she starts to fall in love with him instead.
Yep.
This is a moment where I feel like the writing was not as good as it should have been. If you listen to everything he says to her, I enjoyed what he said to her, but... It's fine what he said to her, but what it does is it's like a hand-fisted narrative. It's like, here, we're going to pick you up. here and set you over here, even though none of the emotional stuff has happened to get you here. I'm just going to say, through 4 lines of dialogue, you're now here.
Yeah, yes and no. And that's where I think like there's 3 of these movies. I feel like they rushed so much in the first one to get through high school and everything like that. It's like, I wish you didn't rush and we could have got to college at maybe 2 or 3, but not in the first one.
This whole first movie should have been like maybe senior year.
I would have been okay with that.
You graduate at the end.
At the very end of the movie, but...
And then she's going to go away to New York, and then he's going to do what the fuck he's going to do, and then he goes to New York in 2 and sees her. That would have been a way better...
Yeah.
You know.
But, I mean, this is still a great movie.
Sure.
I mean...
You keep saying that.
You can go fuck off.
I'm just kidding. I love this movie.
It's so great.
Anyway, Harry, who's been dating Mary Jane, arrives and presumes that she has feelings for Peter after seeing them hold hands. Which, that's another thing that bugs me about the way this guy writes this. We just literally got fed a hand-fisted scene where it's like, look, she's going to have feelings for him by the end of this scene.
Yeah, it wasn't necessary, but it was necessary to have Harry Osborn walk in and see that physical connection.
Right, but the way this guy describes
it,
like it's like it hasn't happened yet, and Harry's just presuming, and I don't know, it just pisses me off. It just pisses me off, guys.
Well, you know, sometimes it happens.
If you're writing a movie for adults, you should spend more time with it.
But it wasn't all for adults; it's for kids.
That's my problem. You can write a movie that's clever enough for adults and still entertaining for children. Well, Marvel's been doing it for 10 years.
I think they wanted this love interest struggle with Spider-Man and Mary Jane. And I don't think they delivered it as good as they could have.
For fuck's sakes, even George Lucas, who can't write a single line of dialogue to save his fucking ass, still wrote movies that are entertaining for adults.
Yeah.
But they're kids' movies.
This is entertaining. Read your notes, because I don't want to hear your words.
Entertaining is the wrong word. They could have put together a more compelling plot line.
This is where the escape pod ends.
Yeah.
We fist fight and we never fucking do this shit again. I burn down Sandcrawler Studios.
I've got insurance. Devastated.
If I burn it down, does that give us a nicer studio?
No.
Your insurance sucks.
It gives you a trip to jail.
Damn it!
Devastated, Harry tells his father that Peter loves Mary Jane, unintentionally revealing Spider-Man's biggest weakness. That's good writing.
Fucking shitting on these Wikipedia people. You bastard, you.
Norman holds Mary Jane and a Roosevelt Island tram car full of children hostage along the Queensboro Bridge.
I got nothing. Keep going.
You got
I'm
nothing
good.
on
I'm
that
good
one?
for now. I'm good for now. Keep rolling, buddy.
All
Keep
right.
rolling.
Okay. He forces Peter to choose whom he wants to save and drops Mary Jane and the children at the same time. Peter saves both Mary Jane and the tram car, while Norman is jeered by civilians. Jeered? Who says jeered?
The shitty Wikipedia writers.
who sides with Spider-Man. Now, this is also one of the better moments of the movie, and this doesn't do it any justice.
No, hell no.
There's a point where Spider-Man is struggling for control of this tram car full of kids hanging way above the whatever river that is in New York. I don't fucking know. Shitty River in New York.
Yep.
The one between New York and Staten Island.
The Shitty River. I think I'm pretty
Shitty
accurate.
River, I believe, is what it's called. And the citizens of New York kind of have one of those cool moments like they like to put in movies of the people from New York coming together.
Yeah.
And I don't know anybody in New York, but every time I'm like, yeah, fucking people in New York.
They're fucking together. Montana, kiss my ass.
Yeah.
New York has their shit together.
Kiss my ass.
North Carolina, get the fuck out of here. Michigan, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Anyway, they start throwing shit at Norman. It's a cool scene. Norman then grabs Peter, throws him into an abandoned building, and brutally beats the fuck out of him.
This was the best fight of the movie.
I'm gonna get a beer.
This was the absolute, the physicality, the punches thrown, everything. It was like when we were talking about that Superman fight where he was fighting the head gang leader guy. It was just so aggressive.
Yeah, so fucking violent.
I enjoyed this fight the most between Spider-Man and Green Goblin.
Definitely, I definitely agree. And they did some nice stuff with slow motion stuff where you could really kind of get the feeling of the impact of getting punched and shit like that.
And I loved it then, and I love it now. I loved how much it looked like Spider-Man got the ever-loving shit beat out of him.
Lunar Girl says it's the Hudson River. You should have fucking known that.
Shitty River. I was right.
Fair enough.
We were close.
Yeah, it's Shitty River.
Shitty River.
Norman boasts about how he will later kill Mary Jane. This enraging Peter. Or if you're into it, engorging Peter.
Whoa! Now it's a whole different movie.
Now it's a party.
I've seen this movie on the internet.
Peter overpowers Norman and starts to kick the living shit out of him.
This fight was so good. I really enjoyed this fighting.
Yep, me too. I did enjoy the back and forth. You know, it was all one way for a while, and then he found his inspiration.
Oh, he found the dark side of the Force, because when he said that he was going to start fucking with Mary Jane, he said, I'm going to kill you, and then I'm going after her. Spider-Man was like, no, I'm going to have my killing Padawans moment, and you're going down.
The only person that's ever yelled at me for fucking with Mary Jane is my wife.
Yeah. And I'm sure as shit not letting some bastard in a mask do it.
Norman,
like, what stuff are you on? You're telling me I can't fuck with Mary Jane. You're wearing a whole leotard and a fucking mask.
I'm getting completely different feedback from the chat about engorging Peter.
Whoa!
Some people are excited about it. Some people are a little apprehensive.
We've got a ringing.
We got a ringing?
Yeah, they said that it's bad.
Guys, you've got a ringing. Did it just happen? Is it still happening?
Yeah, it's still happening.
Ruh-roh.
How the fuck? We didn't touch anything.
We didn't touch anything. Hold on. Let me turn the sound off for just a second.
This is getting out of hand. Fuck you, Richie.
Everything was fine, and then all of a sudden, it worked.
I don't get it.
Me either. God hates us.
What'd you do to him?
I don't know. Okay, guys, is there a ringing now? Brady, your microphone is frozen.
What do you mean it's frozen?
Hello? My microphone is frozen.
Hello?
That one channel blow out in the thing?
No. It's still going, they said.
The ringing is?
Yeah.
All right. Ask him if it stops now.
It stopped now? Yeah, it stopped.
It stopped?
Yeah.
It's my microphone.
Is that new or used?
It's used.
This is what Order 66 sounds like.
Oh. I can't wait. I'm going to have to edit that right out of there.
Yeah. We're fixing it. Stop buying used shit.
I guess.
You shouldn't have to hold it.
You're just going to have to hold it. I don't got to pee.
No, the fucking microphone. No, they said it's still going.
Is it going now?
I don't know. They're fucking behind and
What in the world could have just happened? This is... Oh.
It's off, they said.
The ringing stopped?
Yeah.
It was that microphone. Motherfucker. you want to go do your normal pee break, and we'll do a 30 seconds of silence, and I'll edit all this shit out of here?
Yeah, talk to the people. Tell them. Fuck.
All right, guys, I'm going to work on hooking up this microphone to the stand, and we can shoot the shit. I have no idea. That's some bullshit. Brand new fucking mic. Well, it's not brand new, but, like, I just got it. Super fucking bizarre. That really bums me out. Bums me out, folks. Oh, what the fuck? Who's in charge of this shit show? So, guys, what's going on? Stupid YouTube. If we were just recording this, we'd just pause it, and then nothing would happen. Nobody would even be the wiser. But it wouldn't be any fun without you guys.
We're good?
There was some unpleasant sounds when you guys were yelling earlier. Maybe something blew. I'll tell you what blew. That fucking microphone blew.
Yeah, because it sucks.
I could have had a nicer microphone, but that one, that's the one I got, and it blew.
You're over your switch to turn it on. You need to turn the mic.
Oh, turn the mic. It's like a mic drop, but different. Oh. Thank you, Lunar Girl. Me and my wife worked pretty hard on that garden. She's the one who maintains most of it. I just do the fucking bitch work.
She's literally outside doing shit now.
Is she? She's out gardening right now?
Yep.
All right. Drop me 30 seconds and we'll resume. All right, guys, we're back.
Yes, we are.
Norman reveals himself to Peter, who stops attacking. Norman begs for forgiveness, but at the same time controls his glider to try to impale Peter. See?
I'm a child.
We're back to being engorged.
Yay!
And Peter's going to get impaled. And I have got to ask you, my friend, while I continue to read, will you go turn the air conditioner back on?
Yeah, because it's a little warm.
It immediately warmed up in here.
Yeah, and I'm going to grab a brewski.
We definitely need to insulate this place.
Yep.
Warned by his spider sense, Peter dodges the attack, and his glider fatally impales Norman instead. Norman tells Peter not to reveal that he's the Green Goblin to Harry before dying. Peter takes Norman's body back to the Osborn's house. Harry arrives to find him standing over his father's body. Harry grabs a gun, intent on shooting Peter, but Peter escapes and hides Norman's equipment. At Norman's funeral, Harry swears vengeance towards Spider-Man, who he deems responsible for his father's death, which is pretty understandable. Oh, now my volume's not high enough?
What the fuck, man?
I just don't know anymore, guys. So this one's me. Turn that up.
Oh my god. If it's not one thing, it's another. Welcome to the Shit Show Part 2, the sequel. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man! Anyway.
Wait, that's what broke the shit last time.
Yeah. He deems Spider-Man responsible for his father's death and tells Peter he is all the family has left. Mary Jane confesses to Peter she's in love with him, Peter, however, feels he must protect her from the unwanted attention of his enemies, so he hides his true feelings and tells Mary Jane that he can only be her
He
friend.
fucking friend zones her so hard.
Oh, in the worst way.
I've never seen a chick get friend zoned harder than this chick got friend zoned. That was fucked.
It was real fucked. And you know, you're just sitting there watching the whole time going, not only are you fucking yourself right now, we know that you're going to spend the rest of the next 82 billion movies trying to fix it. They literally have to reboot the franchise to unfuck what you just fucked. See my cool mic that's a piece of shit now, apparently?
We're done buying new shit for the show.
Yep. So again with the Patreon. As Peter leaves the funeral, he recalls Ben's words and accepts his new responsibilities as Spider-Man.
Because with great power comes great responsibility. That's
also,
true. That's true, though.
With great power comes an overloaded microphone.
It's true.
It's true. We've seen it.
I was there. I was there.
So, do you have a list of things that you've learned about this here Spider-Man movie you want to share with us?
You know Lucy Lawless was in this?
No.
She had a small, you know who that is, right?
Yeah.
Xena Warrior Princess.
Yep.
She had a small little cameo when they're interviewing people. She's the one who looks like a punk rocker, and she's like, guy with 8 legs, kind of hot.
Oh, that was her?
That's her.
Oh, nice.
If you watch it, you can't not see it once you know
it's her.
Yeah. But no, man, there's lots of little things, but they're not like Easter egg things as great as you have in today's movies. Like there's little things with like license plates and numbers and stuff, but they're too nerdy for me to know them offhand. They're just, but I love this movie, man. This movie, like I told you before, with my son about to be born in the next couple months, like I thought the world was coming together for everything to be just so right, because my kid was being born and Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, and this incredible Spider-Man movie's coming out. It was just like I was so jacked and jazzed, man. I've been waiting for the Spider-Man movie since I think I was 10 years old, and I remember having a Wizard comic book magazine.
Yeah, I used to get Wizard.
And the very first one they did was a what if they made movies. And the first one they did was what if they made Spider-Man.
Right.
And they had like Howie Long playing as Venom, because Howie Long just got doing the fucking shitty ass Fireman movie he did. I can't even remember what the fuck it's called.
Backdraft?
No, that was Kurt Russell.
Okay. I was like, Howie Long.
Howie Long was
the football player, right?
Yeah, the football player. They had like Charlie Sheen as Peter Parker.
Oh,
it was bad.
Horrible.
It was, but you have to remember, this is fucking almost 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think of those people at that time.
Right.
You know, but this movie was the first movie opening weekend to gross $100 million. So
I didn't know that.
That was pretty sweet.
This is really kind of one of the first legit attempts at a superhero.
Yeah, and that's where I think they did a great job. His first attempt, because when he's trying to do shooting his web, you remember that scene where he's trying to shoot the web to figure out how to get it to work?
Yep.
If you listen to everything he says, he's saying shit that belongs in like up and away web. That's some Superman shit. Like,
yeah.
You couldn't do that now.
Well, and it actually quite a few times in the movie, it points to the fact that he's existing in a world where all the other superheroes also exist. Like, at one point, Aunt May says, "You can't do that. You're not Superman."
Yeah, but Superman is Marvel and DC.
But that's DC.
Yeah.
But they're implying that this is all existing in the same plane of existence.
Yeah. Or unlike we're like a zombie movie, they're like, we don't know what zombies are. We've never seen a movie about zombies.
It's quite possible that maybe in this world, Superman is a comic book character. You know, it doesn't really say. But there's a couple of times where it points to like that, where there's some of that campiness.
Yeah.
Like he's like, "Go Web, go."
Yeah.
You know, that implies that there's other superhero input coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
Whether they're real or they're stories, and he's the only real one in this, I don't know.
Yeah, I looked into Easter eggs and stuff. I was trying to look at, like I said, man, there's not a whole lot for this movie considering it was, I mean, there's things like there'll be numbers and stuff, and they'll say, oh, that's a birthday year for Steve Ditko or Stan Lee or stuff like that. And
well, that was another one of those references. He said Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam.
Like Shazam.
Yeah, he goes through like a plethora of DC things when he's sitting there trying to get the web to go.
Yep. Like you say, there's the Lucy Lawless cameo, and man, she doesn't. I just looked at a picture of it, and she doesn't look anything like herself.
No, she really doesn't. She's got a cigarette, the whole stroke.
But when you look at it,
you're like, yeah, that's Xena.
Yeah, that's Xena the Warrior Princess. There's some Doctor Strange stuff that pops up.
That's
Tobey Maguire's brother.
The Steve Ditko one I was telling you about.
Yeah, Steve Ditko.
Like, they're not...
The Spider-Man theme. The guy in the subway playing the guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Spider-Man. You're like, oh, geez, that's funny. Look out. Here comes the Spider-Man. Like Brady says, there's just not a lot.
Yeah, they have stuff like, they talk about Kurt Connors, and if you're a fan of Spider-Man, you know Kurt Connors, Dr. Connors becomes the lizard.
Yeah.
And it's like, those aren't really Easter eggs. Like, I picked up on that when I watched it, and I was like, oh, is he going to be in the sequel?
Right.
That's, you know.
Flash Thompson has something to do later on in Spider-Man's story, and I don't remember what it is either.
Well, at one time he becomes like Agent Venom or some shit like that.
Okay.
But
I don't
because there's like
32
million different comic book variations of Spider-Man, it's so hard to pinpoint and pull it in.
Yeah, there's just nothing here.
No, there really isn't.
This actually came out somewhat before fans had the opportunity to voice their opinion as far as going, no, we want this stuff to nod to things that were exceptional.
2002 is still kind of the infancy of the internet.
Yeah.
You know, so there just wasn't a lot. I mean, it's so funny. I watched the rest of this last night with Nicole, and he uses a payphone.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell you the last time I've seen a payphone.
Right. Yeah, me either.
A functioning payphone.
Yeah, well, not functioning. I have seen like novelty ones here and there, but
remember when you used to see them in the gas station parking lot? There'd be like two over in the corner of a gas station. Like, those don't exist
anymore. And it was like the seediest place to have to make a phone call.
Yeah, like you did not want to do it.
Like, I may get stabbed in the middle of this phone call.
And the phone might be the fucker who stabs me. But yeah, that's all I got, man. It's a great movie. If you haven't watched it in a while, go watch it. Yeah, they're gonna bring up some. The music, everything. I was like, oh my God, this is when fucking Nickelback was at their height. Because they had a hero song.
Right.
But
one of the reasons why we really wanted to talk about this is because, like we said, this was kind of one of the first films to really bring superhero films into that spot where the people were like, oh shit.
They take them serious.
Yeah, they're making big budget.
Yeah, we're going to take this seriously. It's not some laughable shit. Because this is the same time. This is coming out, X-Men's coming out, and then a few years after that, you got your Dark Knight. You got your Batman coming out. And Batman changed. This one changed the game. Batman took it a step further.
But it's that progression that leads us to being able to get a Marvel Cinematic Universe and really some of the best comic book work that's ever been done. Well, not some.
It is the best comic book stuff. I mean, I want DC to step it up.
Yeah.
I want them to be on a level playing field. I really do.
This is what I'm hearing out of DC, and it makes me super excited. Like we talked about last week, we're going to get a Flashpoint movie.
Right.
And Flashpoint allows them to pull all the strings of the continuity that they already made and take it in a new direction. So they can both blow up everything they did and keep it. And write a new set of stories with an actual vision, because now they have, what's that guy's name? He came over from Marvel, and he's running everything now.
I don't know.
At DC. Anyway, one of the guys that helped build the MCU is now at the helm at DC.
Okay.
So, using Flashpoint, which is a thing that already exists, and we all know it and love it. Wow, dude, that was something.
Was it good? Did it get you?
This eye is fucking watering. Oh,
glorious!
You've seen it live, folks.
Glorious burpage.
Anyway, we're gonna get.
Stop winking at me.
We're going to get a Marvel style treatment of building a DC universe.
Right.
And I love that. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere because Marvel has a big dick, but they can't figure out how to walk with it.
Give it a little. They're doing a good job. Marvel's got their shit together more than DC.
Marvel's got their shit together.
But I mean, you look at the new Spider-Man movies. I think they learned from these previous ones, and he's still in high school.
Yes,
I love that about the new ones.
That's a huge problem with these films, and especially when you're getting into 2 and 3. Like, you're talking about 20-something Spider-Man by the time 3 happens, and he's still acting like he's
still acting like 19. In high school. Yeah, I agree.
And you're like, none of this makes sense. And then we go to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, who again is done with high school, but he at least seems like a grown-up.
Yeah, the one thing I thought I didn't like about that, I love Spider-Man. I'm just nitpicking here, is I thought Andrew Garfield was too cool. He didn't look like a nerd.
That's the truth about the Andrew Garfield thing, is at the entire time he seems like the cool kid, and it's a little bit hard to parse.
Yeah. Whereas Tom Holland does not seem cool. He seems like a dork.
Right.
He seems like a very nerdy kid who's trying to make it through high school and trying to figure out being the superhero out.
Right.
But I don't want to take anything from Tobey Maguire, because I thought Tobey Maguire, when I first saw this, and because I love it so much, man, he did a great job. He was a nerd.
I disagree.
I didn't
like... Me and Tisha sat down and watched this the other day, and we were both struck by some of the bad acting choices in this movie.
Oh, I agree with you, but, I mean, this movie's 16 years old now.
Yeah, but like the stuff where Tobey Maguire was trying to ugly cry.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like it was...
I agree with you. It has its moments. It's still a great fucking movie. How fucking dare you?
You can pretend to get upset, but I just can't help you. You're no Dave.
I know.
Dave would pull a real fucking knife.
I know. If I was in my jeans, I'd still have it. I'm in basketball shorts.
You know what they would be talking about if Dave pulled out a real knife?
The Summer Legends! Motherfucker.
Oh, motherfucker. You guys have got to catch the All Things Star Wars podcast.
Yeah.
And get hip on the Summer of Legends business.
If you're not, you need to.
At least then you would understand the stupid joke we keep trying to make.
If not, oh well, this is us.
But yeah, really, like me and Tisha really bumped up against some of the acting when we watched it the other day. And the Green Goblin's costume is horrible.
Yeah, I love the helmet, except for the mouth. Like, I love how the mouth is open and it looks angry. But when he would talk, sometimes it didn't match up to what the fuck he was saying.
Right.
Like, you did a shitty job overdubbing, or he is saying something completely different than originally written.
Right. Yeah. I think there's probably a lot of that. And the costume has a lot of really weird piping.
I like the piping. I don't know. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Todd McFarlane Spider-Man costume.
But if they did his costume comic book accurate, something closer to Spider-Man's suit would have been more appropriate.
Oh yeah, well the Spider-Man emblem on the back of his suit was too aggressive, because in the comic books it was always a round, bulgy spider, whereas this one they made it very, very edgy and very it matched more the front logo than the original one, which is a very round. But I love this costume. I don't know, and maybe I'm holding on to.
Are you talking about Spider-Man again? Because we're talking about the Green Goblin.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Spider-Man.
No. Here, now I'm going to stab you.
Fuck you.
No, the Green Goblin's costume. It's full of a bunch of oversized, strange stacked piping.
The only thing, the glider and his helmet are the only thing that reminded me of the Green Goblin from the comic.
But everything in between was
and the
like
pumpkin
weird.
bombs.
The pumpkin bombs were sweet.
Those were cool.
Except for the one that completely vaporized a couple of people, but didn't do any damage to the building or the railing.
Well, that's the way the bomb was made. I agree with you. I watched that because I finished watching that, and that was part of what I watched last night. Oh, and then how dated is fucking Macy Gray?
You know,
singing.
It's funny. Tisha was like, "I love Macy Gray," and I'm like, "Okay." I mean, Macy Gray was Macy Gray.
She had like one hit.
Yeah.
I'm not into it.
Now,
but how does that for dated? People are like, "Who's that?"
Sidebar: I saw Macy Gray once open for David Bowie. Take that with a grain of salt. You're just going to swallow that and leave it in there?
Yeah.
You should exhale. At some point, you're going to starve.
Good to go.
You got anything else you want to talk about?
No, man. That's all I got. I love this movie. If you haven't seen it in a while, go see it. It's, I mean, I think that's always going to be our recommendation. We'll see. We might hit a movie where we're like, oh, if you enjoyed this movie, just keep enjoying it. Don't rewatch it.
Yeah, there's some stuff that I think we're gonna revisit. We're gonna plan a whole show. We're gonna sit down and watch it. We're both gonna look at each other and be like, "Fuck, dude."
I don't want that to happen either. I'd be like, "Oh, I ruined the movie from my childhood. We should have never touched that."
I'm afraid to
show me on the podcast where the mean co-host touched you.
I'm afraid to watch The Explorers again.
I did. It still holds up. It holds up? It still holds up, because you can't help but be a kid when you watch it.
The end, though?
The end's fucked. The end's always been fucked.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
The end is always,
So I really want to talk about that, but I know at the end I'm going to be like, it was good up until the end river.
But it's still, just know that going into it, because I've seen Explorers within the last 3 years. I've watched that movie.
True. Okay. So there's that.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get to the shit shows.
What did we decide we were going to talk about next week?
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Are you guys ready to talk about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
We want to try to hit Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and hopefully Bogus Journey before.
Yeah, we're going to do Bogus Journey like the week before or the week of the release of Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Hopefully. That's the plan. So
yeah.
We originally were going to do The Rocketeer, but we figured Bill and Ted's, it's a little bit more relevant. We still want to do The Rocketeer. It's a movie I haven't watched
somewhere around 21.
Yeah, it's a movie I haven't watched in a long, long time, and I remember loving that movie when I was a kid. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
But they'll never make us another one if we don't talk about it in public.
It's true. It's fair.
It's true. So apparently, the group chat is saying excellent and.
Station! That's from Bogus Journey.
Station. Yes.
That's from Bogus Journey.
I love Bogus Journey.
Station!
They Melvined me.
They Melvined me.
Melvin. Anywho, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, guys. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us. Everybody, make sure you like this video. If you're into it, give us a 5-star review on iTunes. It really helps us. Spread the word on the podcast. We do it live here. So if you leave us a 5-star review or even a no-star review,
3-star, 4-star, it doesn't matter.
They don't have a fuck you button, but if they did, we'd allow that too.
Yeah, and we would tell. If you want to say, hey, I only could hit the 1-star, but I wanted to hit the fuck you button, I will let the people know you want to hit the fuck you button. Right. But
Brady will read it live on the show. So if you want to say some mean things to us,
Go ahead,
and Brady's going to say it for you.
Hell yeah. Subscribe and download us on your favorite podcast app. Search ATSW, the Escape Pod. Check out our pod family, the All Things Star Wars podcast, Use and Abuse, Layman's Terms, Tactical Swede, and the Podbelly Network shows like Sofa Kings and Geekly Distractions.
Thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
See you next time. May the Force be with you. And go blue. Dude, I gotta fucking piss again.